Oh, hi. How's everybody doing today? Listen, due to all the recent events that are now being thrown out there so fast, trying to keep up with all of the Spygate developments and the Federal Reserve developments and all the other things going on in the world, I felt it's important to address at this time one of the big problems with social media. One reason, even though things are progressing quite nicely in the first 6 months of Donald Trump's second or third third term, um, things are progressing quite nicely. You're always going to have those people out there saying, Trump's an idiot, Trump's a moron, nothing's really happening, you're all being fooled, this is all fake, none of this is real. Um, Trump is tricking us all. Or Trump is, they go with two different scenarios. Trump means well. I mean, he's trying hard, but he can't overcome his own stupidity. He can't overcome his own limitations, and so he keeps surrounding himself with the wrong people. And there's a lot of people that get a lot of mileage out of that particular scenario. He means well, he's just a dumbass. And the other one is that Trump is tricking us all. Trump is in on it. Trump is actually one of them. Trump is setting us all up. Trump is deceiving us. He's acting like he's doing stuff but nothing's really happening. Okay, and I encountered one of these people this morning. Um, a rather virulent one. In fact, he was very virulent in the way he phrased his attacks on me. So I wanted to share that with you. Now, one thing about black pillars that you have to realize is, I'll make it so you can read that better. I'm gonna blow up the size of the screen a little bit, take it to 150%. Okay, this person reached out this morning in my comments to let me know that he thinks I'm a moron, that I've been, what I've been doing for going on 9 years now. I'm one of the biggest morons on social media. I'm one of the biggest morons out there in the journalism space because I've gotten everything wrong and I've tricked people, and I'm still trying to convince people that things are really happening. Now, the thing about these black pillars is most of them are just shit posting trolls. The guy already deleted his first post to me this morning. He already deleted it. It's not there anymore. Yeah. So these people won't even stand by what they say. Oh shit! Too many people are looking at this now. I better delete it. But he can't help himself. So he did come back with another post after I told him I'm in no way responsible for or affiliated with your stupidity. If after the last 9 years of everything that's happened to and with Donald Trump since in his first term, and then the 4 years they were going after him and raiding his home and trying to blow his head off and using all that lawfare on him and trying to destroy him. He comes back and he wins the White House again, and he comes back and he does everything he's done in the last 6 months. Somebody will still say it's all fake, none of it's real, nothing's happening, nothing's going to happen. You're a moron for believing anything is really happening or going to happen. You're a bad person, Brian, and you should feel bad about yourself. Okay. So he can't help it. He comes back. Yeah, fucking clear. Just admit you were wrong, bro. It's okay. You've been pandering the same bullshit for 9 years, dangling the imaginary carrot in front of all of us. Nothing will happen. No arrest, no accountability, just the same bullshit. Trump is leading us all to the mark of the beast. Oh, I hadn't read that part yet. Mark of the Beast, you say? Fantastic. Yes, yes. Keep going. Let it all out. Purge, my friend. Purge. You say, wow, that's in poor taste, but I'm mocking this guy. Listen, somebody drops into your comments and they say they're familiar with your work for the past 9 years, and they use that to start attacking you and claiming that the guy who is literally saving our country, moving boundaries, moving things that have been held in stasis, immovable by a globalist cult for over 100 years. He's suddenly moving all the boundary lines. He's changing everything. And I point this out and I talk about what's happening. And your response is, you're selling the same bullshit you sold everybody for 9 years. Nothing's happening. Nothing's going to happen. It's getting hard out there for a black pillar right now. I completely understand that. It's getting very, very hard out there for a black pillar at this point because they're invested. I mean, think if you somebody who's been blackpilling for a long time now, you're heavily invested in a narrative. Either one or the other. Like I just went over. Trump, the dumbass who means well, he just can't deliver on anything. Or Trump, the evil guy who's always been a member of the big club, which is apparently what this particular black pillar seems to believe. Trump's leading us all to the mark of the beast. Okay, so these people are out there and you're going to have to deal with them. They show up in your comments every day. I mean, I understand a lot of people on Twitter. There's only like less than 1% of people on Twitter that have more than 500 followers. And I guess I'm lucky enough to be one of them because my following is currently at, oh, let me take a look here real quick. Profile. So over 726,000 X posts since 2009. I now have I crossed the 300,000 follower limit. I'm now at 300,900 followers. Awesome. When you begin to cross a certain level of following, you have more attention from people. These are the kind of accounts that are going to show up. If you're saying anything important, if you're saying anything controversial, and God knows, like for 9 years now, yes, I've dived right into the controversy, all the things the fake news media and the neocon media did not want to cover and did not want to talk about. I went there, okay? And yeah, and I've been doing that for going on 9 years now. And some people really don't like that. They don't like it. Either because there are psychological issues or because they have a vested interest in nothing changing, nothing being changed, none of this stuff coming out. They don't want these issues covered because they're comfortable with things the way they are. And well, whatever it is, when your account reaches a certain level of popularity, you are going to encounter, you are going to be targeted by some people. You're going to become a target. And so I get these sort of comments every day. This is nothing new. And at this point, with everything that happened over the last 6 months, with everything that's been revealed, everything that's been exposed about what's been going on, Black pillars want to look at this a certain way. They will look at it as everything that was exposed about USA. Oh, wow. Everything that was exposed about the Social Security Administration, all the fake numbers that are there. Everything that was exposed about the open border program, the mass migration that we literally, U.S. taxpayers, paid for into this country. Everything that's been exposed over the last 6 months, like, yeah, I mean, they're excited. They get excited about this. Yeah, we told you that freaking corruption was 100 times worse than you ever imagined. They're happy about that part of it. They get excited. Their kickstand goes up in the morning just thinking about it, okay? But what they don't like, the reason why they come after people like me is that I cover both sides of it. Not only has Trump and his team been exposing all of this vast corruption that had been hidden up until now, we're also showing people how Trump is shutting it down and he's beginning to fix it and he's beginning to correct it. Now, they don't like that part of it. They want to insist, no, the black pillars do. No, the corruption's there. Nothing's happening to the corruption. In fact, the corruption's getting worse. No, there's no fixing. What the hell are you even talking about? Trump fixing anything? Nothing's being fixed. Nothing's being really done. So you got to understand a little bit about the psychology of the black pillars that you're encountering these days. They love the fact that more corruption than ever by our government is being rolled out into the open. Thanks for that, Trump, by the way. I mean, black pillars. I mean, can you not at least thank Donald Trump for exposing the hundreds of billions of U.S. taxpayer dollars that have been looted out of the U.S. Treasury every year? Probably this amounts to trillions of dollars over the past couple of decades. Can you not at least thank Trump for doing that? Is that real or is that fake too? Maybe you should think about that. Just for a minute. So maybe all the corruption being exposed at the U.S. Treasury, where they literally tried to lock the door and lock the Doge team out from having access to the payment system. Maybe all the corruption at the Social Security Administration, where the head chick there resigned rather than give them access to the system. Maybe all the corruption at these various NGOs that have been sucking up hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars every year, like the Institute of Peace, where the head honcho literally freaking locks himself in his office to try to hang on, locks himself in his office. Oh, and where the accountant guy erased over a couple terabytes worth of financial data, which big balls goes in and recovers anyway. Okay, maybe that's real. Maybe that's real. Oh, but come on now. Don't you believe any of this shit that Trump and his team are fixing any of this? My God, man. Why would you believe that? Okay, and they have, like I said, they've got one or two scenarios they'll spin for you. Trump means well, okay? But face it, he's a freaking moron. He won't fire Susie Wiles. I mean, you've got people. I mean, once again, Trump has stupidly surrounded himself with people, who are gatekeeping him and hiding information from him, and they won't let him see anything. Yeah, the freaking social media president. They hide stuff from him. He doesn't know. Just doesn't know. He means well, okay. He just doesn't know. Years I've watched these people spin this shit. Okay. Let me make sure the rumble's working here. All right, there we go. All right. For years, I watched these people spin Trump the dumbass scenario. Okay. And that other popular theme that the black pillars love to push on anybody who will listen to them. Trump the evil Machiavellian big club cultist. He's got you all fooled, man. He's got you all fooled. He evil children. They've got you all fooled. But I'm the only one who can see this. Now, my impression is about half these people have psychological issues, and the other half are just shitposting trolls trying to get a rise out of you. One or the other. But it's getting hard out there for a committed black pillar. It's getting so hard right now. And one of the biggest reasons a lot of these people are showing up on my comments now is that they're being forced to revisit things I said and things that I claimed from years ago when I talked about the John Durham special counsel. Don't like that. They don't like where the Spygate scandal has ended up and where it is clearly headed these days. They don't like that. Every now and then I shared some of the comments I was getting back in 2018, 2019. And then after they stole the election from Donald Trump in 2020, I would share some of the comments I was getting all the way up into 2023. And then I said, screw it. I'm not talking about it anymore. I'll go into hibernation. So for about 2.5, you could say 3 years now, because I really ramped down a lot of my Durham stuff beginning in 2022. So about 3 years now, you could say I've been in hibernation, but I was clear. I said I'm waiting for developments on this, and then I will pick it up again. I always said you'd see the return of John Durham. And the black pillars who hang out in my feed all the time, they did not like that. They did not like that at all. Oh, he's still talking about Durham coming back. He's still talking about anybody ever being investigated again or arrested for all that Spygate shit that we know happened. He's still talking about that. He's still monetizing the bullshit. And somebody needs to call him out for that. And I'm just the guy to do it. So, yeah, I got a lot of really mean comments that kind of hurt me emotionally. They made me cry. Okay, I'm kind of making that up. I'm kind of a artist, and I'm in control of my emotions. So, but they really tried to get me to shut up about Durham. Every now and then, I'd stick up the periscope. It's coming. It'll come. You'll see John Durham again. You will see the return of the Spygate scandal. You will. And every time I did that, one of these pricks would show up in my comments. Oh, you're still pushing that garbage. Oh, you're still pushing it. Because there are some people out there that have been following me for years. They're not fans. They're following me so they can hop into my comments every now and then and make a comment like this guy here that I just showed you. Okay, they jump in there so they can attack me, so they can try to discredit me. They can try to discredit my work. You're the guy who said the Durham investigation was going somewhere. You're the guy that said it was going to lead to something. It led to nothing. Shut up. Go away. Uh, Beware the wrath of the patient man. You know, one thing that covering Spygate taught me was patience. A brief aside from Black Pill, let's go into some of the life lessons that I learned, some of them the hard way, from covering the Spygate scandal. One is patience. It takes a story like this a long time to develop. I started covering it in March of 2017, about the time James Comey got his ass fired doing all of his memo shenanigans. I was aware, of the stool doctor and General Flynn being forced out as the NSA advisor in January. I was aware of the publication of the stool doctor, but I wasn't digging in at that time. I was just covering it casually. I didn't really start digging into Spygate until James Comey obviously pulled all of these shenanigans and loudly, with his memos, giving his 7 memos to his friend, Professor Adam Richman. So his friend, Professor Richman, can leak 4 of those memos for him to the New York Times. And so Comey gets dragged down before Congress, where he starts loudly yelling for the appointment of a special counsel. And then Rod Rosenstein very helpfully appointed that special counsel several days later when he named Bob Mueller. That's when I started really digging in. That was a long time ago, 2017. Watch the scandal develop from 2017 all the way to the pause button got hit with the release of the Durham final report in 2023. 5.5 years. So I understand people want things to go faster. This is taking too long. Hurry it up, goddammit. Hurry it up. Faster, faster, faster. More, more, more. Yeah, yeah. I listened to the comments. I saw people that were in an awful hurry. They wanted things to move faster. And look, I don't blame them for that. But one thing you learn as a journalist that is covering these kind of events, one thing you're forced to learn, whether you want to or not, is patience. One of the biggest life lessons you can learn, and believe me, Spygate taught it to me, is that holding your breath and tensing yourself up and demanding that something happen right now, right this minute, doesn't actually make anything happen any faster. That's a life lesson. I hope many of you have learned that by now. I just yell loud enough, I get all Texas. I'm gonna hold my breath until I turn blue. Make this happen right now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why? Why do that to yourself? I mean, why? You have to learn. Things are gonna happen at their own pace. You can't mentally summon up your willpower and force somebody to go faster. Life doesn't work that way. And the sooner you come to understand that, the better. So the first life lesson I learned is you can't make this go any faster by whining, bitching, complaining, screaming to the heavens, tearing your hair out, trying to kick people in the balls to make them move faster. You can't make it happen any faster. All you're doing is you are wrecking yourself and very likely wrecking your health. Relax. take a deep breath. Do a little meditation. It'll help. You can't make anything happen any faster like this. You can't. That's a big problem that the black pillars have. They think that they tried that. It needs to happen right now, right this minute. I'm gonna hold my breath, and it better happen, or I give up for all eternity. And I hate the world. I hate everything in the whole wide world. Shit! Nothing's gonna happen. I give up. Nothing's gonna. It didn't happen on my timeline. It didn't happen when I said it should happen. Everything. Screw everybody. Screw the world. Screw Trump. Screw you, Brian Cates. Alrighty then. Maybe your timeline sucked. Maybe you made a mistake there. Now, the first lesson that you learn from covering Spygate, like I did, you can't make this go any faster. Doesn't matter how much you want it to go faster. Doesn't matter how many people you get together to yell for it to go faster. It will not matter. It will happen at its own pace and its own time. I came to accept this. And a lot of people did not. So, first life lesson, you can't make it happen any faster. If you get all tense and hold your breath and stamp your feet and throw a tantrum. The second thing I learned from covering the Spygate scandal, beginning in early 2017, is that you can always count on fake news and neocon media incorporated to fuck up the story. That's the second thing I learned. Now, the fake news, you know why the fake news is not going to cover it right, why they're not going to frame it right. They're in on it, all right? I lived through the 3 or 4 years before Inspector General Horowitz and John Durham finished their investigations and showed everybody that the conspiracy theorists were actually right. I lived from 2017 all the way into 2019 being called a conspiracy theorist because I said the whole Spygate thing came straight from the Clinton campaign. They paid for it. They paid for the hoaxes to be constructed. They paid for it to be shopped to the news media. They paid for it to be given to the federal agencies who then launched investigations based on the hoaxes. I spent 3 years being called a raging, flaming conspiracy theorist who was making shit up by all the journalism professionals. I was told because I was writing for the Epoch Times and Uncovered DC, you're not a real journalist. All the real journalists at ABC, NBC, CBS, and they all say that Russiagate, Trump colluding with Russia, is the real scandal. And you're over here in the conservative media conspiracy theorist space trying to convince everybody that Spygate is actually the real scandal. But you're not fooling us. Okay. 3 years I listened to this. And then, surprise! Turns out all the conspiracy theorists were right. And all the people who spent years holding this, trying to maintain a mirage to gaslight this country relentlessly into believing that Russiagate was real, they ended up all being massively embarrassed when Spygate turned out to be the real scandal, like we had said all along. As I dived into the journalism of Spygate in the early days, one of the most amazing things to me, like it hit me over the head repeatedly over and over again. Nobody in the fake news or even neocon news actually reads the freaking documents. They do not, you know, they're pushing narratives. That's why they're using anonymous sources to push narratives that they want to sell to the public. They're not reading the actual documents. They're not looking at the actual evidence. They're trying to gaslight the company in the gaslight the country into thinking that Russiagate was the real Trump and Cardi Page and George Papadopoulos and Jared Kushner and Don Jr. They're all working with the Russians. That was the real scandal. They didn't actually look at the evidence and cover the evidence as journalists. Fake news is made up of propagandists. I mean, and so it was amazing to me. At the time, I was digging into the documentary evidence and looking at it and covering the factual. I was framing the story factually based on what was publicly available at the time. Look over here and see some New York Times reporter or some Fox News reporter framing it incorrectly. They had access to the same shit I did, and they were consistently framing the story incorrectly for their audience. And it took a while for it to sink in. Holy shit, they're doing this deliberately. They're not reading anything. They're not researching anything. They're handed a narrative to push, and they push it. That's the second thing covering Spygate taught me. And here's the third thing Spygate taught me. There are a lot of people out there that are trying to build brands in the social media space who don't know the first freaking thing about what they're talking about, but they sound authoritative. They sound like they know what they're talking about. And I discovered when I attempted to reach out to some of these people and correct them on some things they were getting wrong about the Spygate story, what I discovered is they didn't give a shit about being accurate. And some of these people are very big names in the, since, back up a little bit. Okay, back in 2015, I was never Trump. I think most of you know that. I was solidly trapped in the Neocon Media Incorporated matrix. I read National Review online. I read the Weekly Standard. I read every Ann Coulter book. Hell, I cut my teeth as a conservative commentator on the old Ann Coulter message board back in the day, beginning at about like 2002, 2001, all the way to 2009, 2010ish. I was in there every day writing long posts. So I was thoroughly captured, I really thought people like Jonah Goldberg and Bill Kristol and all of these conservative think tank guys, Mona Karen, they're not all male, Mona Karen, and Coulter. I really thought we were fighting, the blue team. I was Team Red. Team Red. Yay, Team Red! Conservative team. Fighting Team Blue. Boo, Team Blue. I thought that was real. I thought it was, I was 100% into the official narrative for 9/11 and Afghanistan. I totally bought it. I totally bought the Gulf War back in 1990. I bought it. Lock, stock, smoking barrel. I bought the official 9/11 story. I was all gung ho about going into Afghanistan. And then 5 years later, I was all gung ho. We, what's else to do? What's the terrorists? We got to go in there to Iraq. We have to invade and occupy that country for 15 freaking years. So Saddam can't give those WMDs he didn't have to the terrorist groups. I bought it. I bought it all. That's why, because I'm trapped in the Neocon Media Incorporated matrix in 2015, in 2016, and into 2017. I was a never Trumper. I looked at Trump. I looked at Trump when he started running in 2015 and said, "Guy's a clown. He's not serious about this. This is just another stunt. It's another stunt." You know, he's doing this to build a brand. What brand is he trying to build now? He about to launch a new brand? What? After Trump Airlines, Trump University, Trump Steaks, Trump Wine, Trump Magazine. Oh, okay. What is he getting ready to hype now? It's got to be. He can't be really serious about this. He actually wants to become president and run the country. This guy who's always bragging about his sex life and swaggering around New York City, the real estate tycoon alpha male, walks into the room like he got the biggest swinging dick in the world. That guy wants to be president. Yeah, man. I was 100% trapped in that matrix. But here's the thing. I escaped from that matrix. And I was honest about my escape from it. I didn't come into the MAGA movement as some kind of infiltrator, only pretending I was now America first, while I'm still taking orders based on my higher loyalties. I didn't do that. I genuinely became a Trump supporter, and a lot of my former neocon media friends turned on me when I did that. Turned on me by, I think it was June of 2017. I came out and said, I'm now on board with Trump. He's shown me enough that he knows what he's doing, and I need to go back and reassess everything I think I know about this guy. Because, I was assuming the worst was going to happen, and it only took him about 4.5 to 5 months of showing me how he was going to do as president to get me on board with him. Meanwhile, a lot of my former never Trumper friends disowned me when I did that. I had people block. I used to DM with some people. They blocked me. And the interesting thing is, since then, the neocon media had two ways to go. Those who remained open and vociferous in their opposition to Trump, like Bill Kristol, Joni Goldberg, all of these, NRO types, the Weekly Standard types, some of the Fox News types, Trump is a massive mistake, and we're going to say so. I mean, we're definitely not on board. Can't wait till this freaking guy is gone. But there was another wing of the neocon media. They didn't do what I did. They came in and they only pretended to be real Trump supporters. They came in because they saw this as a way of building brands and making money. They saw this as a way of maintaining their influence and building it, where they could do some good for the neocon movement from inside the enemy camp, so to speak. And a lot of them are still here. I know some of you don't believe that, but it's true. A lot of them are still here. They have to be clever now. Every now and then, some events might happen where they drop their America First mask for a minute and they show you where their higher loyalty actually lies. The thing is, I genuinely became a Trump supporter. So, not all of these people who came into MAGA from neocon media were able to maintain the illusion. Some of them just, Ann Coulter is the perfect example. He comes in initially, and Trump, he wrote a new book, and Trump we trust. He's all rah rah Trump until Trump did too many things that made the neocons mad. And she dropped her mask, and she became she revealed that she had always been virulently anti-Trump. It was all an act. Okay, she couldn't help it. Trump really pissed her off now. But there was a lot of them that came into the MAGA movement beginning in 2017 when they realized, okay, Trump is going to be president for 4 years. We can't help it. We have to jump on board the Trump train. It's the only way we get to maintain a sufficient level of influence over our current audience to matter, to try to influence things. We have to go along with Trump now. And after that 2020 election was stolen, what did you see most of these neocon people do? Oh, thank God that son of a bitch is gone now. Oh, thank God we can finally move on from that freaking guy now. And I went to, one of the most eye-opening experiences of my life. I already understood the truth about these people, but watching them blatantly do this at CPAC 2021 was, it was mind-boggling. They get up there on the stage, right? Mark Levin and a bunch of these other neocon people. Thank God he's gone now. And look, he was bad for the country. Stop the sore loser talk. Okay, he lost. There was no stolen election. What do you mean stolen election? There was no stolen election. Stop the sore loser talk. Trump just ran a bad campaign. We've got to find somebody better next time. Move on already. Watch them get up there and say that. And remember, from the previous November, I covered in detail all of the shit that went down that stolen election. And then I watched the leading conservative lights to get up there at CPAC. It's time to move on. Time to move on from him. Why? He's just a sore loser. He's saying he was robbed. Of course he's gonna say that. He's not gonna admit he ran a terrible campaign. He's not gonna come out and admit that. Of course he's gonna say he was robbed, it was stolen from him. Stop the sore loser talk. Move on. I watched this. And they're like, oh, thank God we can let our hair down again, and we can fly our neocon freak flag again and stop pretending to be America first. Thank God. And then he came back. And what did they do when he announced in December of 2022 at Mar-a-Lago that he was going to run again? What did they do? They all took a shit ton of their money and they dumped it behind Ron DeSantis. That's what they did. Anybody but Trump. Anybody but Trump. Let go with Nikki Haley. After Ron dropped out, and don't take this there. I have a theory that Ron and Trump were working together behind the scenes, and that was the strategy to cause them to dump all that money in there. And they literally exhausted themselves doing that, and then Ron dropped out. It didn't even last till March of 2024, I think. Ron dropped out already. Now they're forced to dump all the money they had left. They're forced to dump that behind Nikki Haley. Yeah. Now, amazing how that worked out. Something just popped back here. Now I make funny faces. Sometimes I strain my muscles. Okay. It's amazing how that worked out. They dumped, I forget how many hundreds of millions of dollars they dumped into the DeSantis and Haley campaigns, and the neocon GOP country club ring knockers all took their best shot and they wasted all of that money. And Trump cruised to that nomination anyway. They couldn't stop it. So what happened since then? Since it became obvious that Trump coming back was inevitable. What did all those neocon people who've been MAGA for 4 years, from 2017 to 2021, what did they do once they realized, oh shit, coming back. He's coming. He's gonna beat Harris. He's, you know, put their MAGA mantle back on, put their little MAGA hat back on, get back in there. And that's exactly what they did. That's what they did. Time to jump back on board the Trump train. And I keep telling people, you sound like a broken record case talking about all the neocon media incorporated people that have infiltrated our MAGA movement and are trying to steer it and influence it in certain neocon directions. You're sounding like a broken record. Yeah, I know. I know I do. I don't give a shit. I keep saying it because it's true. It may be a truth that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. I don't understand. I don't understand how some of these neocon media accounts now have a million or more MAGA followers. I don't understand how they. Oh, well, it's easy. It's easy. They sound conservative. They sound MAGA. They sound America first 85% of the time. They sound like they're on board with an America first agenda. Until Trump actually begins doing some America First stuff that causes problems for the neocon world. Yeah. Then the mask starts dropping a little bit. Oh no, he won't do what the secular government of Israel wants him to do. What's wrong with this president? Why is Trump trying to lead MAGA away from doing what the secular government of Israel wants him to do? Why can't he get on board with just doing whatever the local affiliate of the globalist cult that's currently in power in Israel? Why won't he just do what they tell him to? Why does he have to be so difficult? And the higher loyalty starts to surface just a little bit. So we're in a very unique time right now where a lot of these social media influencers that have a lot of influence in the MAGA base, you step back and take the 40,000-foot view and you can see what they're trying to use their influence to do. You can see it. And you have to begin wondering just how America First some of these big accounts really are. Because Trump ain't playing. He says America First. He means America First. I don't care how many lobbyists that CCP sends to our Congress. I don't care how many lobbyists IPAC sends to our Congress. I don't care how many people in our federal agencies are Israel first, and they have dual citizenship and dual loyalty. Trump is America first. The only way they're going to move the boundary lines and actually change things because all the screaming and all the drama from the people who like things the way they are and have been kept for decades. You've got to learn to tune that out. And right now, there's a lot of people trying to get you to turn on Trump. They're trying to get you to doubt Trump, stop trusting Trump, because their higher loyalty to the neocon world demands it. They got to drive down Trump's popularity. They have to harm his standing with the base as much as they can before more of this stuff on Spygate and MLK and all the other shit they've been doing to Americans comes out. They've got to drive down Trump's numbers. Maybe when he sees his numbers dropping, he'll back off on some of this stuff that he's been doing and that he's been having his team do. Maybe they can get him to back off. Now you can see that the title of this stream. By the way, this is the first time I've streamed simultaneously on X and Rumble and YouTube, and hopefully it's working great. The title of this stream is Black Pillars Are the Worst. Here's why you should show them no mercy. I said everything I said over the last 51 minutes to arrive at this point. You either believe what you're watching is a real fight for the soul and the future of not just our country, but of our world and of humanity itself. You either believe the fight is real, the war is real, the struggle is real, or you dismiss it all as fake and gay and not real. One or the other. And the real problem I have with black pillars, the reason I don't show black pillars, like this particular asshole that showed up in my mentions this morning, the reason I don't show these people any mercy is because the silent war between the sovereign nationalists, the America First people, the Israel First people, the UK First people, the Germany First people, the Spain First, Australia First, New Zealand First. The war between the national sovereign patriots of the countries of the world and the globalist cult is 100% real. It's real. It's a real war. It may be silent, but it's real. And the black pillars are over there telling you, no, it's not. No, it's not real. It's all fake and gay. And even if it was real, we can't win it. We already lost. They already kicked our ass before we ever even woke up. We already lost. So you're an idiot for pretending that anything is going to change and anything's going to happen. If there's any possibility of saving the world from this evil that dominated it for so long. Yeah. If you think this war is real and you think it matters, you can't show any mercy to a black pillar. None. None whatsoever. You can't. The very nature of the struggle means you can't. cannot show them any mercy. So me and LTD 1984 are gonna have to agree to disagree about who the fucking clown actually is. You want a real war or a fake one? Trump's either getting ready to unleash the golden age on America, or we're all being set up for the mark of the beast. This is another point I was going to make. A lot of the people that you're encountering who are doing the blackpilling thing right now, yeah, some of them are just shit posting trolls. They're just trying to get a rise out of you. You don't even believe half the shit they say. The other half have psychological compulsions and issues, and you are not required or responsible for playing therapist to every demented person that crosses your timeline. That's not your job. If you let them, these people will suck you into a long exchange or a long conversation, and they'll eat up all your time. They'll get you emotionally invested. One of the best things about social media that I love about it is that I've met a lot of great people on social media that I now know in real life. Some of them highly intelligent, highly creative, able to think outside the box. It used to be when we before the internet, you maybe knew a couple of people in your town, handful. If you lived in a big city, you only know just a handful of people in that city. Even a mid-sized city, you only know a handful of people, and you know some of the smart people are, and you come in contact with people that could be called the village idiots, village geniuses, village idiots. Okay, your contact with both groups was extremely limited before the internet. Well, one of the big benefits of social media is that now uh, hundreds of village geniuses can get together and network together and get really, really awesome stuff done together through the networking. That's amazing. On the other hand, one of the biggest drawbacks of social media is that you're not just going to encounter hundreds of village geniuses. You're going to be brought into contact with a couple hundred village idiots. Some people just aren't bright enough to understand what's going on. When I say village idiot, I'm talking about doesn't have a lot more to do with just the level of intelligence. We meet people with psychological quirks. This has been summed up, a lot of psychologists talk about the person who looks at the glass and sees it half full versus the other person who sees it half empty. Somebody who's shown a Rorschach blot, and they're going to look at it. Half the people will look at it. Some people will look at it and go, they'll see something positive and uplifting. Another person will look at the same ink blot and go, oh my God, that's a terrible picture of me being decapitated. It's a Rorschach blot. But what you see on it, what you project onto it is what you're going to see. And one thing you have to understand about social media, you're going to come into contact with a lot of people who can't see or attain to an understanding of the real world because their own mental blockages are going to prevent them from accurately seeing it. They're trapped in a mental loop inside of their own heads. Doesn't matter what goes on out there in the real world. They're trapped in a mental loop. If you think about it, this is exactly what this guy is saying is wrong with me. I'm trapped in a mental loop pushing the same bullshit for 9 years. I'm trapped in a mental loop telling people that Trump is actually changing anything or Trump is going to change anything. You're trapped in a mental loop, Kates. You still see rainbows and unicorns with your rose-colored glasses coloring everything. But that's not real. I see complete and utter darkness and the dying of the light. You know the old thing, just the light's fading just before everything goes black. You know, like it's darkest just before the dawn. Well, these people have their own thing. It's darkest just before everything goes black forever and ever. Okay. He thinks I'm the one trapped in a mental loop of bullshit. I think he is the one with the psychological problem. He's trapped in a mental doom and gloom loop. Doesn't matter what Trump does. Doesn't matter what gets exposed and what starts getting fixed. He's going to sit over there with his arms crossed and go, don't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit either. None of it means anything. None of it's going to lead anywhere. None of it's going to change anything. He's going to sit there and say this to himself over and over and over again before he ever gets around to saying it's somebody like me. He's going to mentally trap himself in a doom loop. But you need to understand, it's not your job to play therapist to every person with psychological issues that crosses your feed. They're going to try to engage you, try to get a response from you. I played with this guy for 2 posts. I said, yeah, okay, your stupidity, I have nothing to do with that. No, I don't think I'm trapped in a rose-colored glasses loop for 9 years. I research shit and I know what I'm talking about. But after what happened to Donald Trump for the last 9 years and how he's overcome all of it, and how he's now doing exactly the things that the black pillars have been saying for 9 years could never be done. Now that national boundaries and boundaries of financial and national boundaries that have been held in stasis by the powers that be, in some cases for more than 100 years, Trump's challenging them and forcing them into moving. You're going to have people sitting over this saying, none of this is real. This can't be happening. My whole psychology is wired to deny any of this is happening. And these people will send posts at you. They'll make comments to you. You're not required to deal with every person like that comes across your feed. As Trump is getting stuff done, as he's changing this country, as he's actually getting to a government surplus. After they said the tariff thing will never work. The resetting all the trade, you're gonna trigger a trade war. These tariffs are gonna doom the economy. Our economy is gonna be so screwed up, we might never recover from this. It takes the freaking federal government to a $27 billion surplus by the end of June. And that's just the first surplus he's going to produce. But meanwhile, all the black pillars over there saying, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. This won't work. This can't work. It's impossible for this to work. Oops, it worked. Oh, they fake the numbers. Everything's fake and gay. Everything's fake and gay. It's a psychological compulsion. This is what you have to realize. Reasoning with somebody trapped in a doom loop like that is pointless. Maybe if it's somebody you know in real life that you can sit down and have a real conversation with. But listen, some anonymous person trolling you on social media, why would you waste any real time on that? It would not make any sense. So we are involved in a real silent war for the future and the soul of our country as Americans. And it's an international struggle. It's not just the United States. There's a lot of other countries where patriots are fighting for their own national sovereignty against this globalist cult. It's a very real struggle. It's a real war. And it's difficult enough to do this, to fight in this war, without some asshole trying to steal your time and your emotional content and your emotional energy to get drawn into an argument with them. None of this is real. None of this is really happening. It's all bullshit. Okay? You can't show these people any mercy. As a matter of fact, in a real war, if you were in a unit that was fighting a battle, a key battle, on the front lines, and you have a guy in the unit constantly telling everybody, "Oh, we lost already. We lost this battle. We already got our asses kicked before we ever even got up here. This is terrible. This is horrible. We're all gonna die." The commanding officer doesn't know shit. He's making all kinds of bad decisions. Guess what would happen to that guy? We can't be any different. So thank you for watching, and God bless you, and enjoy the rest of your day.